All right, everyone, buckle up, because today we're taking a trip back in time to explore one of history's biggest head-scratchers.
Intriguing. You've got my attention. What mystery are we unraveling today?
We're diving deep into the dancing plague of 1518. Yeah, you heard that right, a plague of dancing.
Dancing plague. Okay, now I'm really curious. Tell me more.
So picture this. It's the middle of summer in Strasbourg,
All right, I'm picturing it, a bustling European city in the 1500s.
and suddenly people just start dancing.
Dancing out of nowhere, like in the street.
Yeah, in the streets, in the squares, anywhere and everywhere. And it's not just a few folks cutting a rug. We're talking hundreds of people.
Hundreds? That's a lot of dancers. What kind of dancing are we talking about? A waltz?
A jig.
Think less ballroom and more. Frantic, uncontrolled movement. They dance for days, weeks even, some until they collapse from exhaustion.
Wait, they danced until they collapsed. This is starting to sound less like a party and more like, well, a plague. Exactly. And that's the mystery, right? What on earth could have driven so many people to dance themselves to death? The sources we have from that time are pretty wild, with first-hand accounts of this bizarre event.
Primary sources from the 16th century, those are valuable. So what did they tell us about how the authorities reacted to this dancing frenzy?
Well, at first they tried to shut it down, which is understandable, I guess.
Seems like a reasonable response, so how'd that work out for them?
Not so well, it just kept spreading. And then they did something totally unexpected. They decided to, they leaned into it.
Leaned into it, as in encouraged it.
Yeah, they built stages and even hired musicians. Some accounts even mention professional dancers brought in to keep the momentum going.
Whoa, why would they do that? Seems counterintuitive.
Back then, the leading theory was that this was caused by an imbalance of humors. You know, like too much hot blood.
The classic poor humors theory. So they thought dancing would somehow purge the excess and cure the ailment.
Yep. The idea was to let them dance it out until they were better.
Wow. That's fascinating and a little bit sad. Clearly that didn't solve the problem. People kept dancing and some tragically died from exhaustion, heart attacks, or strokes.
It is a grim picture. It really makes you wonder what was going through their mind.
Right.
So if not hot blood, what do modern historians think caused this?
Well, there's no one definitive answer. It's a historical puzzle. But there are a few leading theories. One is mass hysteria.
Like a collective freakout.
Essentially, yeah. A shared delusion fueled by stress and anxiety. Think of the Salem witch trials, for example.
I see. So can the people of Strasbourg have been under such immense pressure that it manifested in this uncontrollable dancing.
It's plausible. Strasbourg in 1518 was facing a lot of hardship. Famine, disease, political unrest, you name it. It wouldn't be surprising if their anxieties boiled over into a mass psychogenic illness.
That's chilling to think about. Your fears literally making you sick, driving you to dance until you drop.
It does make you wonder about the power of the human mind, doesn't it?
Absolutely. But that's not the only theory, right?
Right. Another possibility is a type of food poisoning, specifically from ergot. It's a fungus that can grow on rye, a staple grain at the time.
Ergot poisoning. How could that make people dance?
Well, ergot contains psychoactive compounds that can cause hallucinations, convulsions, and, well, strange behavior.
So they could have been tripping on bad bread and dancing themselves to death.
It's not impossible, but again, there's no smoking gun. The ergot theory doesn't fully explain why dancing was the specific symptom.
So it seems like we're left with a big question mark hanging over the dancing plague.
Pretty much, yeah. Each theory has its strengths and weaknesses, but the ultimate cause remains shrouded in mystery.
Still, this deep dive has been pretty eye-opening. It just goes to show you the strange, sometimes tragic twists and turns history can take.
No doubt. It's a stark reminder of the power of the human mind and how vulnerable it can be to external pressures.
Makes you wonder, could something like this happen again? I mean, our world is full of stresses and anxieties, maybe even more so than in 1518.
It's a fascinating question to ponder. What conditions could lead to a similar mass psychological phenomenon in the 21st century?
That's something I'm definitely going to be thinking about, and I encourage everyone listening to do the same. Read up on the dancing plague, explore the different theories, and see what conclusions you reach. It's a truly fascinating, if somewhat disturbing, episode in human history.
Well said. The mystery of the dancing plague is definitely one that keeps you thinking long after you've learned about it.
Exactly. Until next time, Keep exploring those historical mysteries. And remember, sometimes the most bizarre stories are the ones that are true.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll crack the code of the dancing plague and finally understand what drove those people to dance for days on end.
Or maybe it'll always remain one of history's most intriguing enigmas. Either way, it's a story that makes you think.
Indeed. Thanks for taking us on this deep dive. It's been a fascinating journey back in time.
Always a pleasure. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep those minds curious.
Smash that like button.
Please subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to
Historian Kid channel.
Catchy. We hope you enjoyed this dive into history. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from the past. Your support helps us bring history to life every day. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next episode. What lesser-known historical figures do you think deserve more attention? Get people talking in the comments.